Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our second Norfolk Market Towns Conference. It's generally encouraging to see such a strong turnout from across the county, town councils, businesses, partners and community organisations, all here because we care deeply about our market towns and our high streets. I've been involved for market towns all my life, as a customer, as a person who goes there, and the last 15, 16 years I've been a member of the Market Towns Committee in Scotland.
Norfolk Market Towns are fundamental for the life of the county. They're centres of business, culture and community. They're places where people meet, trade and belong. Each town has its own characteristic and challenges, but each and every one of them plays a vital role in Norfolk's wider economy and social well-being.
What I've learned in sharing them is that they're inclusive of everybody. Bob the builder, John the electrician, everybody's part of the high street, and actually that's what we should all aspire to.
So I know firsthand the pride people feel in these places, the importance. I also know the pressures that come with keeping them vibrant, welcoming and economically resilient.
The UK high streets, I believe, are at a tipping point. Unfortunately, the numbers don't lie. And this isn't to put you off the high street, but by God have we got some work to do. 42% of Brits feel the UK high street is in decline. 28% store closures up year on year. 12,804 stores closed in 2024. That's 35 a day. And 6.7% national living wage increase. All the odds are stacked against us.
One of the main problems in Durham and in a lot of towns is the fact that public toilets are pretty disgusting. So what we did is we got a grant to have a little leaflet printed which allowed people to see where they saw that sticker in the window, not that big, just a small sticker. They could go in and use the toilet without necessarily buying anything. The actual looking after it, once you've done that, really doesn't take anything at all because the businesses look after their own toilets and they see the benefit of getting more people in their door who, although they don't need to buy anything, 9 times out of 10 they will anyway because they've gone in. It is such a positive thing for businesses to have another way to get people through their door.
We didn't have stalls like a lot of Christmas fairs have, because we have a business one that do that very well. But the shops were part of the experience, so they would go into the shop, they'd get their nails done or their hair done for free with a bottle of Prosecco and something. We had storytelling in one of the charity shops from the autism group. So the success we wanted was to bring everybody together so that people didn't have to worry about money or there's nothing to do in 5 minutes. Literally, people went home and said, oh, we couldn't do everything because we had over 30 experiences for free. So they cost the families that live there and for old and young, all ages. So that was the main goal, is to provide an experience of nostalgia for people to come to rather than spending money as the experience. It's, oh my God, that was such a cool night. The kids loved it, my grandparents loved it. That's what the aim was.
We mustn't be afraid to actually work with each other. But I think the main point from our point of view is we want to hear your ideas. Don't be afraid.
And I'd like to thank to you your enthusiastic support of High Streets Matters. We have persuaded the Cabinet Member for Finance at Norfolk County Council, Andrew Jameson, to open his purse strings and to invest £1 million into high streets and other small business sector. A time to be proud to say Norfolk does different.
It was only about 18 months ago that Shop Fakenham started to formalise as an organisation. You were talking about stars aligning. That's how it very much felt for Fakenham. It felt like we'd kind of had this idea and suddenly we were getting all this support from like county and district. So that was definitely helpful. And the retailers found that a really nice opportunity to talk to other retailers and to take a little step out of the day-to-day of the business and get some knowledge and experience.
I like this with Gerald's. Is anyone from Gerald's? Keep picking them up. Is anyone here to say thanks? No. So with Gerald's, I go in there and they're always doing little demonstrations. Right, and you go in there and we're going to buy a toaster. And there's someone talking about all the toasters. Right, and there's someone from Sage saying how expensively amazing their toaster is at 200 quid. But actually it's so interesting, and it's a coffee workshop we did as well. Right, those experiences and moments are what makes me buy from them. and not want to buy a bike. Okay, because I've got a connection and I want to buy it.
I believe in having really good events, brings people into the town, and if people come into the town, then they will come back.
And it's great for me to have the reason to delve into the policy strategy within Norfolk, and to see that, unlike a lot of growth plans that I read around the country, you actually talk about and you respect places here. There are so many growth plans that talk about business themes and clusters and all sorts of things which are important, but they're not talking about places. And places for me, at the very least, are things that you hang those business development in.
Last year, we visited all of our market towns, spending at least half a day in each, and we thought it would be easy amongst us to decide what was our favourite, best market town. We couldn't. Each town has something special that made it unique, stood out from the others, and made each of us want to visit again. Be it the shops, atmosphere, the people, or its architecture.
Thank you to you as well in the audience, because you make our communities what they are. Without you, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't be talking about this. Because if there's one thing I've learned in doing Eastern Promise, and I set out to do this from the very beginning, is I just do Eastern Promise the way I want, the way I please, the way that makes me smile, the way that makes me laugh, the way that makes me feel uplifted and excited and engaged. And if you do that, you put your communities forward in the way you want them to be, you will find people out there who love them too, because they will be looking for exactly the same thing. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.